Amazing people. How are you? I hope you are amazing. My name is Mary Ndung'u. It is always a privilege to come and have a conversation with you. So, wow, we are going to talk about mental health. And the main reason why we are doing that is to create awareness and for you guys to know what is happening when it comes to matters mental health. You need to know how your mental health is doing if you need to have a very fulfilling life. I am so excited about the discussion we're about to have because it's more or less just making you aware of what is out there. We have so many misconceptions and myths about mental health to come and help us with this conversation because I know you're seated there, you're wondering, am I mentally ill? Am I having some mental disorders and maybe I don't know? Yeah, so we are about to shine a light on that front. So I want you to be excited and ready to learn because we're going to learn amazing things and also maybe touch on a few of the mental illnesses and disorders that we have in the, around so that you will know and maybe look out for the signs that maybe some of them have. And if the symptoms persist, go and check and see a doctor. Sindo, that is all I will say. My name is Mary Ndung'u. I think I have said that even as we began. I want to welcome my guest. Please, please. You need to cooperate with me. Let's welcome her. Let's receive from her. She's about to share amazing stuff. And I'm sure your life will never be the same again. So see you after the short break. So, mgeni wangu, kindly introduce yourself to this amazing community I have.
Oh, hi guys, my name is Mary Fidelis. I'm a psychologist and I also happen to have my own channel called Heart and Mind by Mary Fidelis. And as Mary said, today we are going to create awareness on mental health and touch up on a few disorders or a few illnesses that we have here and there that are mostly common, but still people do not know about it.
Okay, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
I know it is a big sacrifice. And one time, after maybe this, we will have a conversation and I will tell you guys how she had to sacrifice her time to just be here so that we can do this. So I just want to appreciate you even as we begin for just taking your time to be here and to help us have this conversation. God bless you.
Thank you for the invite.
Karibu sana. So let's start off, Mary Fidelis. What is mental health? When you're telling us, oh, you need to keep your mental health in check, what is mental health? Because me sometimes, I remember before I got that awareness, I was in that place of, mtu akiniambia, you are a mental case. That the first thing nikisikia mental health, I think about is, you're not in your right mind. So can you please tell us, what is mental health? What is the fuss anyway about? Because we as Africans, mental health is not something that we need to talk about. Yeah, it's either you're okay or you are not. Yeah.
It's true. We actually do not talk about mental health, and as you said, sometimes when you hear the word mental health, you think that somebody is
needs to be admitted to Madari.
Yes. But that's not the case. Mental health is just like saying physical health. By saying physical health, I do not mean that I'm sick.
Okay.
And also by saying mental health, it does not mean I'm sick. Mental health is actually positive.
Wow.
Having a mental disorder or a mental illness, that's where you need to consult a professional because something is not right. But mental health encompasses of different things, which include your emotional, your soul, your mind. It also includes the soul, by the way, as I've said.
Interesting.
Because if your soul, you're in distress, your mental health will be affected, and in turn your physical health will be affected. Because you see some symptoms of some of the mental illnesses, of some of the mental disorders and challenges, also encompasses into your physical health.
Amazing. So in short and generally what we guys are saying in layman's language is that you need to make sure that your mental health is in check. wewe kama mwanadamu, is your mind healthy? Simple. Okay? And that's where we draw the line. Sawa sawa. So, Mary Fidelis, how then am I supposed to know if my mental health is okay? Now that you have told us it's about being healthy. So how can I say that I'm mentally okay or I'm not?
Okay, when you're mentally okay, basically we'll say, let me just explain it like this.
Yes.
When you're not mentally okay, things that used to make sense, things that used to make you happy no longer make you happy. You're getting frustrated, even worse, or just frustrated over little things rather than how you are.
Okay.
You are just in a space where you feel so constrained that you cannot do anything like you used to, that you're tired of life, you're tired of how you're living, you're tired of your surrounding, sometimes you're even tired of yourself, and you're not. So that's not something that you should be. Why should you be tired of yourself? You should take care of yourself so that if you're a mother, you take care of your family. If you're a father, you take care of your family. But if you cannot take care of yourself, when you do not take care of your your mental health, you do not take care of your physical health, and in turn you cannot take care of the people you care about.
Okay. So just to ask,
Yeah.
is it okay for me to have Monday blues? I woke up, I'm not in the mood, especially for us women. Is it okay for me to have mood swings, but I am mentally okay? Or is my mood swings part of me having a mental illness or disorder?
Having mood swings, I just said,
Yeah.
it's normal.
Okay.
But, and keyword but, if you're having those mood swings consistently, more than normal, then you might know something is wrong. Okay. Monday blues is okay, but you're having Monday blues, Tuesday blues, Wednesday blues, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, a whole week blues, a whole month blues. You used to enjoy going to the movies, now you're hearing movies and like, oh, I was in a mood. Huh? Your family is talking to you and you're like rude, you do not want to talk to them, you do not want to see them, and in turn you do not want to do anything, you do not want to take care of yourself. Now that is where the trouble is. That is what is outside the norm. And that is where you should consult. You should talk about it, consult your resident psychologist, your resident guidance counselor, and know exactly what is troubling you.
Awesome. So would you help us, please, just to know some of these mental illnesses or disorders that are there, and maybe there's what would cause some of them as we continue to discuss, so that I know, for example, now from a place of awareness that, by the way, 1 and 2, 3 things can cause me to have a particular disorder. So in my conscious mind, even as I'm dealing with the stresses of life, I need to also remember, oh my God, I need to take care of my mind before I go crazy or before it becomes a disease. Okay. Yeah, kindly.
Thank you very much. One I would like to say is mental disorders, mental illnesses, mental challenges are a spectrum. That means it is classified or divided into a lot of things.
Okay.
A lot of illnesses, some minor, some major. Some affect us differently. Okay. And some of the causes, some illnesses do not have a defined cause, but they do have a treatment plan that is made specifically for you when you go and see a psychologist, because they evaluate where you are, the level of seriousness or the level you are in, then create a treatment plan specifically for you. Some of those might be mood swings, it might cause depression, some medication, traumas,
anxiety.
Yeah, anxiety. That is also a spectrum. There are several spectrums, and the major spectrums that are widely seen are the spectrum of anxiety disorders, depression, schizophrenia, PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder.
Okay.
Yes.
quick question before we continue. If I have a phobia for something, phobias is a form of fear maybe for something.
Yeah.
Is that a disorder?
Yes. Phobias is a disorder. Because phobias is the extreme, keyword extreme fear of something. You can have somebody coming behind you and you flinch. That's okay, that's normal fear because you did not expect them.
Yeah.
But you're telling me every time you see a particular thing, a particular person, or experience a particular feeling or experience that you're always afraid, even if you're not directly involved with it, that's a phobia, and that is under the spectrum of anxiety disorders.
Oh, interesting. So, guys, Fidelis mentioned something about psychologists, and I'm here to just say this. We have psychologists and psychiatrists in the market, and also counselors. So, depending on how severe you are, then you see different specialists. You can have a counselor that you just talk to and they guide you through one or two things. We have also a psychologist that does the same in terms of consulting, but a psychiatrist now is like a doctor for the mind who actually now can diagnose and give you treatment plans. So a psychologist cannot do that and a counselor cannot do that, but a psychiatrist can give you medication. So heads up, depending on how severe your mental case is, then now you know who you need to go and see. But for just beginners, you can start with maybe a counselor or a psychologist, and then maybe according to how they will evaluate you, then they can move you and refer you to go and see a psychologist if then you need medication, especially in the examples of schizophrenia. Syndrome.
Yes.
Okay, so now we start with the spectrums you have given us. Anxiety. How do we? What entails anxiety? So that someone knows, hey, when this happens, then this is anxiety.
Anxiety is classified as the extreme fear of something. Okay. So it has several spectrums like phobias, anxiety disorders, and the such. The main identifier is fear.
Okay.
The main identifier is fear, sweating, rapid heartbeats, headaches, flashbacks, and most importantly, like I have said, extreme, keyword extreme fear. Si ile ati unaona mtoto ametegwa umeogopa. Ni ile yenye unaona an example like a cockroach iko like 50 meters away from you na ushapanda kwa roof. Ushapanda kwa roof, ushawika, na sasa hiyo maybe ilikuwa inaenda kwa neighbor, hata ilikuwa ingia kwa nyumba yako. Lakini ushapanda juu, umewika. Some people have an extreme fear and get panic attacks, which might lead them to passing out, having difficulty breathing, which may lead into a very serious situation. Because you can pass out and injure yourself. You can pass out and have difficulty breathing and choke. Wow. So we need to handle this. If you feel that you have an extreme fear of something and you're suspecting you might have an anxiety disorder, you might have a panic disorder, you might have a phobia, go seek professional help so that you can be able to be helped accordingly. There are several methods in which to deal with or get rid of completely of some spectrums under the anxiety disorders.
Wow, awesome. So you guys as you have heard from Fidelis, it is the fear that is too extreme that is categorized as anxiety. So when you're going for a job interview and your heart is pacing the entire time before and after maybe the interview, do not say that you have anxiety as an illness. It is anxiety as an expression, an emotion, but it is not anxiety as a disease. or a disorder. So you also need to know how far is too far. That's where we come to how far is too far. If it extends for a long period of time and you're feeling that even on your daily, then that is something to watch out for. It is not really the once in a while thingy. And even extreme pain. Where can we categorize extreme pain? You're just scared. It's still anxiety. You're scared of
Extreme
pains
pain, it's basically classified under a few things.
Uh-huh.
It might be fear. There is fear of pain,
Yes.
and there is feeling that pain.
Uh-huh.
Somebody will tell you they're feeling pain,
but nothing is
there
causing
is,
the pain.
yeah. That is a form of conversion disorder,
Yeah.
where their body interprets some illnesses, some scientific, some biological illnesses, and make them seem real.
Okay.
Because you have had some people who have extreme headaches,
Yes.
but when you get tested, there's nothing wrong. You see somebody saying that they're having symptoms of heart attack and they're not there. So yes, that might be. Also, people might have conversion disorder about panic attacks, and they will actually get those panic attacks.
Yeah.
And it's not because that they have a panic disorder, it's because they have a conversion disorder, but that's a story for another time.
Awesome. A quick question. You've talked about forming things. For example, it's like delusion. Is delusion a form of mental illness? Like, for example, I know of a story of a lady that assumed that she was pregnant and she had all the symptoms of pregnancy for more than, I think, 6 to 7 months. Yet she was not pregnant, but her body and everything had interpreted the fact that she was pregnant. And it started because she was so, was it very, how will I put this? She really wanted a child. They had tried to get a baby for a long time, and I think it was maybe a false something, but she didn't test. So ni ile tu anajiambia at the back of my mind, the way I'm feeling, I think I'm pregnant. I have the mood swings, I am vomiting in the morning, I have the whatevers. And then funny enough, the stomach started bloating, but then she was not pregnant. When we talk about delusions of that sort, where maybe you are in a world of your own, and you think something and it actually manifests in your body, yet it's not true. Is it the same as now how someone who is in pain interprets pain, and is that a disorder? Before we go to the next one.
Thank you very much. One, that is not delusion. It might start up as a delusion, but when it comes to that, that is a disorder on its own, because you might find that even with the stomach bloating, maybe her hormones were starting to produce cholesterol that comes with pregnancy. So that's another situation on its own that is in a blend of physical or biological illness and a mental illness / disorder.
Okay.
Yes. So that's an entire different disorder, an entire different process that is a bit too long and a bit too complicated to explain here.
Okay, but if you have such things, you can actually inbox. We will have a conversation. We can either allow you to talk to Fidelis, or we can refer you to other professionals depending on your preference. Now, talking about anxiety, do we have ways of maybe managing anxiety before we go on to other disorders?
One of the easiest methods that we give for somebody to try out is breathing exercises. So you
let me
just
do that now.
in and out. A simple method, you just use the palm of your hand. You say, with this length, you breathe in, you breathe out. Extend, you breathe in, you breathe out. In, out, in, out, in, out. You'll find that you have relaxed.
Okay.
Another method to deal with anxiety is the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. What do I mean by that? Name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can smell, 2 things you can see, and 1 thing that you can feel.
Amazing. You guys, 5 things.
So by the end of that running technique,
Yeah.
you would have calmed down, your breathing would have come to normal, if not, seek for medical attention.
Before you move on, can you repeat that for us in case someone just missed it? Instead of them rewinding the video, please give it to them again.
The 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 essentially incorporates 5 things: touch, smell, hearing, and seeing.
So the senses.
Yes, the 5 senses.
So you start with touching, 5, and then 4 is what you can
smelling,
see.
smelling.
Smelling. And then
you don't have like a particular order that you can follow.
Okay.
It's just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, so you're the one to interpret which one you will mention first.
Depending on your environment, because you might, in the environment you are, you can only see one thing. And if you say that you need to mention 4 things you can see and you can only see one, somebody
it will add on to the anxiety.
Exactly, it will add on to the anxiety. So you just follow the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 according to the environment that you're in, because the purpose of this exercise is to calm down.
And maybe distract you from whatever it is that is giving you the anxiety. Awesome.
It is to refurbish the mind, to redirect the mind back into the physical world without thinking about whatever was causing you the anxiety.
Awesome. That is amazing. I didn't know that, baby. I've just learned that today. Thank you so much for enlightening me. So we are done with anxiety. And is there any kind of medication for anxiety?
Yes, there are several medications depending on your level of anxiety, and also depending on which spectrum of the anxiety disorder you are in. So that is the issue. When you visit a psychologist, they will diagnose you and they might suggest medication, but the psychologist is not the one who writes down your medical sheet. It is the psychiatrist. Yes. But a psychologist can refer you to a psychiatrist depending on the level, or if they feel that after those exercises, after those techniques, that it has not worked and you need further assistance with medication.
Awesome. So you guys, in mental health, we do not describe just kawaida over-the-counter kind of medication. That's what you're saying. It has to be written down by a psychiatrist. So please don't just take any medication that you feel funny, sijui what, and someone else who is struggling with anxiety is taking medication and they tell you, I use this one for anxiety. Because the level of anxiety is different, then do not follow their prescription, please, Kenyans, because it is something that we struggle with.
We also need to remember that we are a unique individual. Something that might work for you will not work for me, and something that works for me might not work for you. That's something we need to remember. So we need to see the correct professional to help us with what we need.
Awesome. We are done with anxiety. Which other kind of disorder or illness is there in mental health?
There is depression, which also has its own spectrum.
Okay.
Most of us are familiar with depression,
so what
but
is depression?
We might not know exactly the in-depth of depression.
Okay.
Unaweza pata mtu, you have stress over something and you're like, I'm depressed. You might be, and also you might not be. You're just stressed. But excessive stress leads to depression. And excessive and managed depression leads to psychosis.
Wow.
And psychosis is the extreme level of depression, which is not curable.
It is not?
It is not curable. It can be managed, but there has not yet been developed or discovered a cure, a treatment for it.
Wow. Okay, so what forms of depression do we have?
The forms of depression, like I said, it's basically a stressful situation or stressful. The symptoms you have in depression are the same in stress, just to an extreme. So it's level of not feeling, basically feeling blue. Anxiety might be a symptom. Headaches, rushing, yani heat and cold rushes. Feel tu ni kama kafiva kanataka kuja, ni kama akakuji. Unasikia roho imedunda. Unaona tu huyo mtu mwenye mko naye home uko tu.
You cringe.
Unaona watoi ndio huyo wewe ameangusha glass ndani ya plastic. Lakini una feel that things are not going as they should. And sometimes all you need is to just take a break, relax, cool down, and deal with it strategically. Because saa zingine tunajipeanga stress, because yes, they are stressful situations, but sometimes we need to just cool down and think. But we try to juggle, I guess, that's a many economy yetu inatuma to juggle a lot of things, but that juggling causes stressful situations, which will develop into stress, which might develop into depression, and in serious cases will not manage to psychosis.
Wow, interesting. So can you just maybe mention a few disorders in depression, like the way we have PTSD and something, so that they can just know some of the categories in depression, so that we can now move on to treatment and management, and then we go to is it psychosis?
It is divided into two, the manic and the maniac. So basically that is a bit complex, ikona majina mingi sana scientific, but see there is acute depression, there is major depression, and there is just depression. So that's how it is classified.
Yes. And what is post-traumatic stress disorder?
Post-traumatic stress disorder, as the name says, is a type of disorder that comes when somebody has experienced or seen a traumatic event, and it has caused a stressful environment or a stressful situation to them that has not been properly managed. And it caused them extreme fear. Unasikia tena? Fear. Fear inakuja mara nyingi sana. Fear.
Yes.
When it causes that extreme fear, it develops into post-traumatic stress disorder. Post meaning after.
Okay. Where would you categorize something like childhood traumas? Is it in post-traumatic stress disorders? Come and see this tongue misbehaving.
Like I said, we are all unique. So we experience our experiences differently. So you might develop post-traumatic disorder, I might not.
Even if the event is traumatic?
Yes.
Okay.
I might develop depression out of it, you might not. So it's like it branches into different according to the individual.
Oh wow, that is amazing. That is awesome. So what else have we not touched on in terms of maybe illnesses that are there in mental health and disorders?
Bipolar is classified under a mood disorder, which is classified by extreme moods. Extreme moods in terms that when an individual with bipolar is happy, they are in the extremes, they are over hyper, all over, and when they are sad, they fall down into depression. They are sad, they are gloomy. It's just to an extreme. Still in the normal range, niboeke for a few minutes, mtakuja nichekeshe nicheke. In this case, it might not. It might take a few hours, sometimes a few days, to get back to how they were before they became sad or happy. And sometimes into the extreme, when those moods are in extreme, it might cause other complications.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Like?
Complications like they might get too excited, the blood is pumping, they pass out. Some have symptoms of epilepsy. Some have like symptoms because of extreme moods, they will not be able to interpret harmful situations, so they might end up getting hurt.
Wow. So mental health is that important.
Mental health is important just as much as you take care of your physical health. Remember to take care of your mental health because it is all interconnected.
Yeah, you guys, you hear this. Mental health is very important. So even as we are talking about some of these things that maybe some of you have never had before, please take care of yourselves, okay? And what is this one? Schizophrenia, something. Ebu, can you tell us the different? What is it? What are those things, man? What are they?
Schizophrenia is basically a disorder that prevents someone or it disables the ability for somebody to think or act in the normal range of interpreting messages or situations. Is manageable and somebody can be able to live life sort of normally. They might need help here and there at times, especially when they do not take their medications, but otherwise they will be good.
Okay, so out of the mental disorders, which ones are you born with that are maybe inherited? So that maybe we can watch out from our family patterns, because of course I think some of these things, it's like the way someone will be born and the parents maybe did not take care of themselves and now they have HIV. So you see they can't help themselves. So they have the virus because the parents maybe didn't do something about it. So what is passed genetically, so that maybe we can watch it out from our family, and maybe if our children have it or I have it, I know that by the way I need to check out on my kid, because maybe the possibility of them developing some of them is very high and I need to maybe keep them in check. And maybe when I see the reaction from a tender age, I can say, by the way, you know what, we need to subscribe you on a monthly maybe to a psychologist or a psychiatrist. My God, come by you. That will maybe be managing you and I as yes, or something of the sort.
Several disorders can be passed genetically, and it is quite a long list, but at times it's not a guaranteed because the parent has it that the child will have. Sometimes it skips the generation, so you might not know.
Yes.
So the important thing to do, if you're a mother and a father out there, know your family history so that you'll be able to monitor yourself and your children, so that if there is any signs and symptoms, you can go to a professional and make sure what it is earlier on.
Amazing. So I need to say this, guys, especially if you're a parent. I know some people who hide their mental health conditions from their children, maybe because they're managing it or they have a professional that is working with them or they're under medication. So you feel the need of not just telling your children. But the story is, if you don't tell them, maybe as Mary Fidelis and Asema, it might skip your children, but maybe affect your grandchildren. And if the parents, your children don't know, then before it is diagnosed, because we can, most of the time, if not all the time, I have had parents say that my child just has a lot of mood swings, yet it might be a disorder that can start being managed early, as we said. Instead of waiting for that child maybe to get to somewhere where they're in their, what did we call it? What?
In the money.
No, the schizophrenia. Yeah, instead of waiting for them to get to that level of madness, maybe why don't you just have a conversation in your homes and talk about these things? Because the same way we are having this conversation, I also studied psychology, but there's a lot that you're informing me because maybe I missed it. or I didn't understand it the way you did, or maybe because you're practicing it, there's a lot that you know that I don't know, and yet we are professionals. So you can imagine if you have that in your home, you won't know. You will just say, this guy is moody. This person just is not relatable. Yet someone is struggling, and you can help, and you don't know. So please pass your history as we are talking about. Let your people know so that they can be set free for reals. Okay, so what else have we not touched on, even as we are coming to a close?
Before we go on, I would like to say that even if it's a generic or something, a disorder needs to be triggered.
Yeah.
So it might be in the family, but as long as it is not triggered, there's a possibility that it will not affect a certain individual.
Wow.
And also, again and again, I will emphasize, take care of your mental health.
Yeah. Awesome. So, because we have talked about it, we have said my summary is that if you notice that you have prolonged emotional instability, kindly consult a professional, and please try anza na kumanage. So what can we do to manage apart from the counting and the 1 2 3 4 5? Oh, it's 5 4 3 2 1, and maybe breathing in and out. What other ways can we manage mental health or disorders?
We can go through therapy.
Okay.
That's one of the most effective methods. There's other CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. It's a form of therapy. And I will not dive deep into a lot of them because every single individual is unique to them. So our treatment plan is catered to you specifically.
Very true.
Yes.
Okay, I'll also throw in here that even having just doing exercises and basically just having fun helps. Does it?
Totally.
Yeah, and also eating healthy. Yeah, so you can just throw in that even as you're maybe taking your medication and trying to stay sane. Okay, so what are your last words to this amazing audience that we have?
Marion's people, I'm talking to you guys.
Yes, please.
What I would like to tell you is do not be afraid to speak out.
Yeah.
Do not close something in and call it normal and you're not 100% sure. Hakuna mtu atakukataza kwenda hospitali. Hakuna daktari atakataa kukuelezea what you're feeling if it is in the normal spectrum or there is something wrong. You need to speak out, you need to consult. Na usiogope ati uonekane umeingia ofisi hapo hivyo juu imeandikwa guidance and counseling, imeandikwa counselor, imeandikwa psychologist, imeandikwa psychiatrist. Usiogope. Ukiogopa na ni wewe unasafa alafu.
And then what? And then what, my people? And then
you need to be brave for you.
Yes.
You need to be strong for you.
Yes.
You need to be your own champion. You need to be your own protector.
Come on.
Yes.
Fidelis. Me, I enjoy our conversation. So you guys, as you've heard, do that, yeah? And then for me to just finalize, stigma is so overrated. So please don't stigmatize people. Even if you hear mtu anasema, me have been struggling with depression, it doesn't mean that that person is weak, by the way. It doesn't mean that that person is vulnerable or something. They are just not okay. It's the same way you can say that you have an headache, and someone will not say, "Ai, na mwili yako kwani ni weak aje?" Like when you una immunity, it's not. Yeah, mental illnesses and disorders are something normal. It's just that we as Africans haven't really taken time to know and maybe to expose ourselves to these things. That is why even you guys, when you're going to work, you're given time breaks and all these things because you need to be okay. If you work straight when you enter work from 5 and maybe tunaingianga job 8 and you leave to 8 to 5 and there's no break, there's no lunch, of course you'll be too stressed, and that of course is not good for your mental health. So that's why we have even the breaks in there to just make you breathe and just rest. So it is important to also give yourself that space, even in your life. And you that is always stigmatizing people, leave people alone. Let them deal with whatever it is that they're dealing with. Because if you add into the negativity, then you're not helping this person grow or develop or become better. So what value are you? Yeah. So I don't believe in stigma, and please don't stigmatize people. I think I'm done. This has been a very insightful conversation. Would you like to tell us where we can find you, my friend? Because you see these people, you told them you have a YouTube channel. Can you please tell them to subscribe to your channel? Because now I need them to go and learn from you. Because mostly, sometimes I don't talk about mental health. When we're talking about relationships, they need to come to your mental health channel and talk to you. So please tell them. And even if you have other social media handles to chat with, just give them. I think when we are editing, we might write them down. Ama we will do them in the description. But just tell them.
Guys, as I said again, my name is Mary Fidelis, and my YouTube channel is called Heart and Mind by Mary Fidelis. I have other handles. I'm in IG, I'm in Threads. In IG and Threads, I go by _Rose _ Fidelis. On Twitter, I'm there as Mary Fidelis. Facebook as Mary Fidelis. X as Mary Fidelis. You can find me on Discord as Mary Fidelis, and also Black Rose Fee, it's also me. And guys, all my handles are also in my page. You can visit that. On TikTok, I'm also there. So if you have any questions about mental health, you can come and ask. I'm open to discussions. I'm open to comments. I'm open to questions.
That has been a very amazing opportunity for us to learn about mental disorders. And I'm so happy that I got to bring Fidelis, because I don't think I would have delivered as well as she did. You guys, please go subscribe to her channel. She said that she has her other social media handles in her platform on YouTube, but we will also have them on our particular platform so that you guys can have a conversation. If you think maybe you're going through something that is more than normal, please, you can reach out, ask, consult, so that we see how we can be of help to you. As we've said, just because you need to take care of your mind does not mean that you're vulnerable. If you're going through something, it is a season, it can pass, and of course, mental illness can be managed and you can also overcome. So please don't be alone, and don't hide yourself, okay? The other thing I would like to mention is that we are also working on another amazing episode that will be on childhood traumas. And I will be calling my awesome friend again to help us with that as well. So it's going to be amazing. You guys need to watch out for that particular video. It will be loading very soon. Sawa. If you have questions concerning the same, by the way, leave them at the description box. If you have any other, not description box, sorry, in the comment section. And if you have anything else that you would want us to touch, matters mental health, kindly also comment so that we can know how we will be of help to you and how we can reach out to Fidelis so that she can come. We do this, okay? We are here for you, you people. We are here for you. We are here to hold your hand. If you have gone through postpartum depression and all these other things that we hear with very fancy names, don't be alone, okay? Talk to us. Let us see how we can help you. If you are currently in that particular season, also talk to us. We can help wherever we can, just to make sure that your mental health is fine, okay? So if you have loved this video, kindly give us a thumbs up. Kindly share with a neighbor or two. We need to make sure that everyone is well made aware of mental health, because we need us to work on it. Sawa. I will come back with a story. I know this video has been very long. I will bring you guys stories of some of the things that I've gone through in that spectrum of mental health, so that you will know that it is not just you. Even us that are doing the kind of content we are doing, we have gone through some of these things, and it will be a story time. So for now, allow me to leave it at that. Thank you so much for staying tuned. Thank you for staying until the end of this video. Man, I am excited and I'm happy. I love you and see you on the next one. Sindio. Bye-bye.